Here's what separates beginners from professionals in AI. Beginners build single agents, while professionals orchestrate teams of agents that solve complex real-world problems. And if you are preparing for interviews at top companies or trying to stand out in your current role, understanding multi-agent architecture isn't optional anymore. It's expected. And Azure AI Foundry just made it way easier to master. In this video, we will walk you through the process of developing a multi-agent solution with Azure AI Foundry. We'll learn the core concepts of multi-agent systems, including sequential, parallel, and hierarchical agents, and how Azure AI Foundry can help you orchestrate these agents for real-world applications like ticket triaging, task delegation, and more. And by the way, today's video is part of our AI/ML track job-oriented program, the same program that helped professionals like Utkarsh, Shrija, Devashish, and Roshan completely transform their careers. They mastered multi-agent solutions, Azure AI, and other cutting-edge technologies and landed high-paying roles they were chasing. So are you ready to write your own success story? Register for our free masterclass on AI/ML and Agentic AI and discover how we can fast-track your career transformation. The link is right there in the description and pinned comment, so don't miss it.
Let me just take you through a very important, which is multi-agent solution, and let me help you understand something which you can call it as multi-agent solution. So I'm going to touch today upon multi-agent solution with Azure AI Foundry. Okay, so we'll see multi-agent. Now, when we say multi-agent, just to keep it simple, we have agent, like we have a manager, right? What does the manager do? Manager delegates the task and see the completion of the task, right? So there are some tasks. Suppose there is task 1 at the table, there is a task 2, and suppose similarly there is task 3. Okay, so if I have 3 tasks, okay, what I'm going to go ahead and do, I will delegate agent 1 maybe to do 2 tasks, just helping you understand. Agent 1 can take this task, and maybe agent 1 can also take this task. But for this task, maybe I am going to go ahead and give it to agent 2. Okay, suppose. Okay, so the point to be understood here is when we say multi-agent, basically there will be some agent which will be called as a manager agent, which is going to go ahead and delegate task and see the completion of the task. Okay, when we talk about this kind of thing, okay, what I am saying here, we can, just to keep it simple, we have different types of agentic solutions. Okay, we have something called as sequential agent, then we have something called as hierarchical agent. Okay, and then we also have something called as parallel agent. Okay, so I told about different types of agent. Just to keep it simple, when we say parallel, we can understand that tasks will be performed in parallel. Now, a task when performed in parallel, generally what agent 1 does, okay, agent 1, what agent 1 does, agent 2 will not be aware about it, right? Just to keep it simple. And when I'm saying not, it means agent 2 is not aware about what agent 1 is doing. Okay, so this can be used when we do not want these two agents to interact with each other, and these two tasks are independent in nature. When the two tasks are independent in nature, then we can, and there is no dependency, we can have a final report, okay, going ahead and giving these two tasks information to agent 3, which can go ahead and create a final information for you. But at the time of this task getting executed by agent 1, the task 1 getting executed by agent 1, and the task 2 getting executed by agent 2, we had no relation between these two execution. We were okay to run those in parallel and not pass the information of one agent to another. This type of task, we can call it as a parallel task. At the time of execution of this task, there was no requirement for this agent to look for what this agent is doing. Okay, this we can call it under parallel task. Okay, now I told you about sequential. Sequential basically means first one agent will perform the task. Suppose agent 1 got the output as ABC. When we say sequential, whatever agent 1 has performed will be given to agent 2. Okay, and then agent 2 will perform its task. And then whatever agent, suppose this person got the answer as DEF. So whatever agent 2 got the answer, that will come here, and then it will go to task agent 3. Okay, so this is how agent solution works. Okay, this you can call it as sequential. Okay, so what I told, when I told about sequential, one will perform and that information will be passed to 2, then 2 will perform and then 1 plus 2 information will be passed to whatever output it will get. Okay, output of 1, suppose 1 performed a task and it got an output as O1, then this output will go to 2 and it will give an output maybe as O2, then this output will go to 3 and maybe it is going to give an output as O4 or maybe O3, sorry. Okay, this is called as sequential. Now, what is the difference between sequential and hierarchical? When we say hierarchical, please forgive me for the spelling mistake. This is like manager and then there are tasks. Okay, so a single task, a big task was there, big task that has been dispersed into multiple tasks and been given to multiple people. Okay, and these people can act in sequential as well as in parallel. It's not like they cannot act. They can act in parallel, or if there is any, suppose this person is going to be more of a what you can say, suppose there is a document article that I need to write. So first there will be a searcher. Okay, then after searching something, it will go to a reviewer. Okay, fine. So whatever has been searched, first it will search, then it will give to reviewer. Reviewer is going to review whatever has been searched and it can come back here and say there are some things that are required to be changed. Finally, whatever has been review, maybe it is going to go to the editor. Okay, so everyone is writing an article. Here, this person is writing an article, giving it to reviewer. Reviewer is saying that you need to make some changes. Fine. So you can say that these two tasks can be sequential. In hierarchical, these two can be in sequential. Fine. Or there can be multiple researchers, right? There can be multiple researchers. Fine. So these two tasks can be in, think about it. If this is searcher 1 and this is searcher 2, these two tasks can be in, can it be in parallel or is it required to be in hierarchical? Or sorry, sequential. But generally we are okay with parallel also in that case, right? Because they both are researcher, right? It will go to the reviewer. Reviewer will see what is common, what is not common, what is required, not required. Fine. So this is what we call hierarchical, in which we can have parallel and sequential combined. Fine. That's great. Now let me just take you through what is this multi-agent solution that we are trying to go ahead and look into. So I'll tell you what was the problem also. So right now I've just created a solution. Let me just deploy a model. So right now I've deployed a model in Sweden Frontal. Earlier, the issue that I was facing is I was not able to get this project endpoint. Now, when I did it this way, I was able to get the project endpoint. Another thing, what I'm going to do right now, I've just deployed. So now let me go to portal.azure.com. In this, let me show you that resource group. Now I've created this resource group. I think right now I created this resource group. Okay, herein I have a project and I have a Foundry resource in which I have deployed a model which is GPT-4. Okay, this is the model that I have deployed. Now what I'm going to do, I'll just open this Cloud Shell. I tried to do it in VS Code. There were some issues that I was facing. So I tried to do it here and it was working fine. Now I also want to see what you can see. I also want to see my, what you can say, file. Okay. So for that, I need to move to classic version. Let me click on the classic version for the PowerShell. Okay, there is advanced version and there is a classic version. I'm going to the classic version because it allows us to open the uh, file menu also. Now let me just type code space dot. Via this, you can open a black window which is going to show you the file share. Okay, this is the file share. Right now here you can see I do not have any folder. So what I'm going to do right now, I'll explain you the overall thing. I've created some things for you. So I'll show that also. I've deployed the model. Now, after this deploying of the model, I want to clone a Git. And I'm going to clone it by the name AI agent. In this, we have all the labs, okay? But we are doing some particular lab which are of more interest for us. Let me clear the screen first. Let me clear the screen. and let me clone the lab. So I'm git cloning by the name AI agent. Right now it is saying this path already exists. Can you see it is already existing in my system? So let me, if you can see, it was already existing. So first let me remove and then let me paste. I can show you because I've already done here. You can see this path is already there. So if you want, you can give another name. I'll just be okay with that. And now I am going to run this. If I rerun here, you will be able to see AI agent and this has been cloned. Now let me click on this AI agent. In this, we have a lab. So I'll click on this lab. Under this lab, I'm interested to show you multi-agent solution. So let me click on this. Inside this, I have a Python folder within which I have this file. This is what is of my interest right now. Only this part was of interest. So now I need to get inside this, right? So I'll just type AI agent. Let me clean the screen. Then I'll type 03B. Let me use a tab. Okay. I need to go to lab file, sorry. Lab file using a tab. Now let me just go to 03B. Inside this, I have a folder called as Python. I'm inside that folder right now. Now under this, I want to open a file. I can directly click and open, or I can say code dot, the file name is env. Okay, so when you want to open the file, you can say code space dot. It will open up the file. What is this file expecting? It is expecting the project endpoint and the model name. So I've got the project endpoint and I've deployed the model by the same name, which is GPT-4o, the actual name of the model. Now I've got the project endpoint. I'll go to this. This is the model that I've deployed. I'll come here. Let me take the project endpoint. And here you can see I've got something called as project, which was missing last time. I don't know why, but there was some issue. So I tried to create it this way. Now, always remember to save this. You can directly do Control S or you can right click on the top where you'll not be able to see anything, but you can save. And then if you want to close, you can close also. Do not forget to save. Okay, now once you have saved, now you can say code space dot. Okay, this is the file that I have saved. Now I have a requirement.txt file. Here I have .env so that I can read this env file. Then to log in, I am using Azure Identity. Apart from that, there is also one more thing that is required, which is AI project. So if I want to write it in the file, I can just copy and write it in the file itself. Sorry, I can just say Azure AI projects. This way is far better, but since they have not written, that's the reason I'm writing it here. Same thing, Azure AI project. Now I can just run this file. Before running the file, it's very important. It will not allow you to create your own uh, installation. So what do you need to do? You need to create your virtual environment. How do you create a virtual environment in Python? You can make use of this simple command, Python, then this -m. Then you want to create a virtual environment. So how do you create? You just say the keyword is, I want to create a virtual environment by the name. Any name you want to give, you can give. I can give the name as Jalal also. That's fine. Okay. Now what I'm doing right now, I'm creating a virtual environment. Why is this virtual environment important? Because until and unless I do not create this virtual environment, here you can see I've created a virtual environment. I'll not be able to install anything onto the cloud. Now I want to activate this virtual environment. So what is the name? env slash. Inside this virtual environment, there is a script. Okay. So once you create this virtual environment, what do you need to do? You need to, I'll just show you. So I've created, I need to go to bin. So I'll just come here. Let me go to bin. And under this bin, there is a script which is activate this virtual environment. PS1 is for PowerShell. If someone is new, they should be able to make sense what I'm saying. So now I can just say activate PS1. Okay, now you can see I have activated the virtual environment. In this virtual environment, what do I need to do? I need to install the packages that has been mentioned. So now I can say pip install -r. This is used for requirements file, requirements.txt. If there is another package that you want to install, you can just type here. Pandas, maybe if you want to install, you can type also. Okay, that is also fine. Now I'll just hit this enter. Now it is going to install all the packages and it will also install pandas. Okay, can you see it just installed the pandas? I'll just show here. Can you see it was installing pandas also? So it downloaded the pandas also, which I wrote separately. Okay. Now, apart from this, it's important that I have saved the file. or else it will not be able to read anything. Okay. So let me just check if that is done. Yeah, this is all fine. Now, what do I need to do? I have just installed. Now I need to do some work here, which is I need to complete this code. And here I'll explain the code to you. Everyone is clear with this aspect? Shall we move ahead? What we are doing right now? We have created an environment and we have activated the environment and we have installed the packages. Now we have also put the code.env. Now I need to edit this code. So I can open this code file, which I have opened already here. Okay, now let me take you ahead. Now I need to explain this code, and to explain you this code, what I'm going to do, let me show you one diagram that I have created, and this can be helpful to all of you. Now, what is basically going to happen in this? Okay, for that, let me just come here and let me just explain. What are we going to do? In this exercise, you will create a project that orchestrates multiple agents. And after we do this, I would like you to help me answer whether it is a hierarchical, I'm sorry, hierarchical, or whether it is parallel. And there was one more, right? Sequential. I would like to get an answer from you whether it is following an hierarchy or whether it is a parallel or whether it is a sequential. Okay. So now we will create a project that is going to orchestrate multiple AI agents using Azure AI Foundry agent service. So we are using Azure AI Foundry agent service. If I come up here, you can see that I have not created any agent, but actually I have deployed, one agent has already been created, to be very frank, because I deployed a model. So now we are going to go ahead and use this Azure AI agent service to create our agent wherein we have deployed a model. If you want to delete any one of the agent, you can delete the agent. That's okay. But you need to have at least one model deployed in this agent.
By the way, if you're preparing for AI, machine learning, or generative AI interviews, we have put together a free interview Q&A guide with over 80 expert approach questions, insightful answers, and scenario-based problems. You can grab it right now. The link is there in the description below. So now let's continue with the video.
So now what are we going to do? We are going to use this agent service in Azure, okay, to assist with tickets triage. Okay, some tickets issue are there, and we want to resolve that ticket issue using Azure AI agent. Okay, now the connected agents will assess the ticket's priority. Then they will assign the ticket to a team, and then they will tell how much effort will it be required to complete the ticket. So three things will come. First, there will be maybe an agent. Right now, we know that there are three tasks. First, find the priority of the ticket. Suppose I raise the ticket to K21 that the lab is not working fine. So we will have the moment someone raises a concern, there will be priority given to that. Second, it will get assigned. So if there is a lab, it should go to a developer or maybe you can say a cloud developer or maybe a cloud trainer somewhere, right? Then it will get assigned to a team. If someone says my refund is not being assigned, it should go to a team which can be from the accounts. Okay. So we have a priority of ticket, then team assignment, whom it will get assigned, and then how much effort will it require. Based on that, we can shoot out an email that it is going to take 3 weeks of time to be able to get the resolution for you. Okay. How much effort will be required to complete the ticket. Fine. So let's get started. These are the three things that we need to go ahead and do. Now for this, what are we trying to go ahead and do? Just to keep it simple, we have already deployed the model. We have got these things in place. Okay. Now I think we have already cloned everything. We are here. I want you to understand this aspect. Okay. So there are important class. Okay. So from agents, first of all, there is an agent client class. Then to work with this agent client class, we have different types of models. These are not AI models. Okay. Just keep it simple. These are some models. Okay. So some tasks model, you can say. So now we have some models. Okay, so first from the agents, we have agent client. Then from the agent model, we have got some models. By the name, we can understand that this is more about tool. Okay, connected agent tool. This is about message role. This is about list sort order, sort the importance of the tools. And this is about setting up the tool. So here you can see that we have got some tools. You can say some models. And then to log in, we have got default Azure client credential. So I'll just copy this and let me just paste it here. Right. So I've just pasted it here. Now, after pasting, what is the next thing? Now, if you remember, I need to use Azure AI Foundry. So this is going to give me the access to Azure AI Foundry first. I need to connect to my Azure AI Foundry. For that, I need to make use of agent client class. What it is going to do, just see, it is going to ask you what is the endpoint. How will you access? I told via Azure credential. That means I'll do easy login. And there is no external environment or identity that I'm going to use. I'm just going to do easy login. So let me just copy. This is how I'll connect to my agent. So let me just put it here. Okay. Now, once this is done, now what we have done till now, we have what we have done till now. Till now, we have understood that we need some classes and we have used one class which is going to help us connect to the agent. Okay, Azure AI Foundry agent. Now, in this agent, I need to create some. If you remember, I need to create some agents. So to create an agent, I am first defining the agent name. Then I am defining the instruction of the agent. And we will read this, okay? But first understand I'm defining the agent name and the instruction. You could have directly defined within the agent. The point is, there is a method of that class. If you remember, there was a class agent client something. This class has got a method called as create agent. Okay, it has got a method called as create agent, which expects you to give the model deployment name. We have deployed a model, if you remember, in the env file. Then the agent name and the instruction. We could have directly wrote the instruction here. It would have worked absolutely fine. So now what are we doing? We are creating an agent. What is the name of the agent? Priority agent. Okay, so let me copy this. Okay, there are some agents that we will use, right? So now I'll just show you. We are going to use this agent. Always remember, when you do a copy paste, see to it that this aligns with the already given uh, what you can say uh, comment. Do align it. I've just added. Now after this, if you remember, there are three tasks. So first is priority, second is assigning the ticket, right? So read this. I would like you to read this. What is the work that this ticket is doing? Assess how urgent a ticket is based on its description. Respond with one of the following level. User facing or blocking issue, high. Time sensitive but not breaking anything, medium. Low. Cosmetic or non-urgent task, low. Only output the urgency level with a very brief explanation. That's it. So the moment user is going to enter, it will put it somewhere here. Now I need another agent, which is going to be called as a team agent. You can give any name. And here we are saying from the choose the following. Okay. Choose the following. That means decide which team. So once we set the priority, we will find who will take care of this: front end, back end, infra, or marketing. Okay. Based on the answer of the context of the ticket, respond with the team name and a very brief explanation. That's it. Okay. And here again, you can see we are again making use of that same class method create agent, which is part of agent client, giving the model, giving the team name and the instruction. Okay. Now, if I come down here, I'm adding one more. I'm adding one more agent. Now, if you remember, there was one more thing, estimate, right? Now, to estimate the time, we are creating another agent. Estimate how much work each ticket will require. Can be completed in a day based on the what you can say, the inputs that we are getting. Okay, base your estimate implied by the ticket, and we are already giving multi-day, 2 to 3 days. Now this is important. If you remember, there were many classes. Okay, let me just take you here. Let me open the code from here itself. I've got the code here also. Now I'm going to use connected tool agent class. Now what it is going to go ahead and do, connected tool agent. See, every agent will have an agent ID. Every agent will have an agent ID. Just to show you, if I come up here, this agent has an agent ID. Can you see? So if I run this piece of line here, if everything is fine here, let me save. Okay, everything looks to be fine here. If I try to run this file, I am in the correct folder. Let me just try to run this file for you. And let me just run agent.py. I'm okay with the error. Let me just run this. Wanted to show you that is the agent getting created or not. And why is it running? Because I've told clear the screen while running the agent. This is there in the code itself. Now what I'm trying to do, I have not done anything. But if I refresh here, okay, let it run. Right now, if you can see, I'm getting some issues here. But if I come up here, because the code is not completed, let me come up here. Okay, I needed to do AZ login. Really sorry. If you remember, I'm using Azure default client credential. So let me copy. It may look into my account subscription. I only have one subscription. Let me enter for no changes. So I'm got into this subscription. Now let me just run this code, which will clear the screen because this is, I'll show you why I'm saying this. Here you can see that something got executed, no error as such. Okay. Now if I come up here, can you see agents getting created? Everyone is clear and there is an ID associated. Okay. Now I've just created the agent. Now I want to connect those agents, right? So I'm going to use something called as connected agent tool. Here I am going to specify the agent name and describe this agent, because how will my system be able to understand, right? So I'm using connected agent tool. Before that, I'm creating. So I've just created agent. Now I want to use this agent as a tool. Okay. Now if I want to use this agent as a tool, I need to give the name. I need to provide the description, assess the priority of a ticket. This is where it will get invoked. This tool is going to get invoked, which is going to invoke an agent to do the task for you. Again, I'll repeat. The moment the user is going to say, this is the issue, this ticket will get invoked. This tool will get invoked based on this description. A description is very important, and which is going to perform the action based on what is there in the definition of the agent. So it requires three things. First, this connected agent tool, which is going to take your agent and convert it into a tool, is going to ask you the ID, the name, and the description. Similarly, team agent tool is also having a ID, a name, and a description. Similarly, effort agent tool also has an ID, a name, and a description. So we can copy this. Okay, so I've just copied this. After copying this, where am I going to take this? I'll just come here and I can paste this here. Create the connected agent tool for the support agent. Now I'll just see to it that I'm using the correct tab. So I've just added now. Now what do I want to do? The point, try to understand. We have just created tools which is going to call the agent based on the description of that, based on the description. Okay. What should the ticket do? Now what I'm going to do, now I'll just show you. I see whenever now earlier what we were doing, if you remember, we were creating agents, right? Again, we will create an agent and now your things will change. If you see, I am again creating an agent. I am passing the model name to this agent. And if I show you earlier agents, okay, let me just show it to you from here. Okay. Earlier when we were passing, again, we were passing the model name. We are passing the name, model name, the agent name, as well as the instruction. But now we are also passing very important thing, which is tools. This is not parallel. This is hierarchical. Triage agent is the manager. Understand? Which is going to take, just see what we are writing here. triage the given ticket. Use the connected tool, determine the ticket's priority, which team it should be assigned to, and how much effort it will take. So triage agent is my manager. So this is hierarchical, wherein I have manager as triage agent, within which there are three things. There are three things. Now tell me, is it parallel or is it sequential within this? Sequential. Until one task is not done, can you complete another task? The information of first will go to the second, right? And the information of second will go to the third, right? You can do it in parallel, but still we need to wait, right? You can say parallel and sequential, but more general, if you say, you can call it as sequential. The task of one will be completed and will be passed to the second, right? Now, I'll just explain you. So here we are passing those tools. So whenever you create a tool, if you run the output, you will see the definition is there in index number 0. So we had a definition of the tool, right? So now the definition we will use to trigger which tool to be triggered. Okay. So now this is about taking the tool definition and passing it to my main agent. Okay. Now what are we doing here? We have just set the triage agent. Now what are we going to do? We are going to use this agent client. There is two important thing which is important: thread and input. Okay. Now thread is basically whenever we have this what you can say uh, agent client. Okay, there we need to attach all these agents via something called as thread. Okay, so we will have something called as thread. We'll create a thread, basically you can say called, when I say thread, basically connecting all these dots together. That's the reason I was saying we need to discuss. We'll see whether this is, I think sequential, you can arguably say that it can also be parallel. Okay. But right now we'll create a thread wherein we will put all these things on a thread. Okay. Now we are taking one input. What's the support problem you need to resolve? Then when we want to send this prompt, okay, we are going to take something called as prompt as a content. Role we are going to define as a user. This is directly coming from the SDK, and we need to attach the thread ID. Thread ID is important. This thread ID itself is going to call all those three agents together. Okay. And even not just three agents, it will also go ahead and take care of, because these three agents, if you see, will automatically be part of one more thing, which is called as triage agent, right? So just to keep it simple, we will be able to make use of this agent client to just create a thread. And right now we are just going to pass the thread. Okay. We are just going to pass the thread because when we are going to process this agent, it requires the thread ID. It requires the main agent ID. Okay. Remember this. So basically when we are going to process that agent, okay, there is a method runs create and process. Using run dot create and process, it requires a thread on which it is going to execute those agent, maybe sequentially, maybe parallelly, we will look. Okay, so this triage agent ID will be required, which has taken the ID of all the three, if you remember. Okay, so we will have those triage agent and the thread ID, and we will be able to get some response out of it, which we are going to go ahead and display the message. So now what do we have? First of all, we have created a triage agent, if you can see. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a user which is going to enter the support issue. The moment the user enter the support issue, it is going to go to something. If you remember, the input is going to go. So where is the input going? The input is going to go here. The input is going to go here. Okay. The moment the input goes, it is going to go ahead and take this input as a message. And then once that message goes, what are we going to basically go ahead and do? Here you can see we are basically trying to go ahead and run that thing, okay, via the thread ID and the agent ID, right? So this is what we are trying to go ahead and do. And once we run that thing, we are also listing out that message. If you can see, we are making use of that, what you can say, message, and we are listing the message. okay, using the thread ID, as well as we are trying to list the sort order also. Like if you remember, I told we need to sort which tasks need to be performed. So in this case, all those three list sort order basically means it is automatically going to sort based on those three. This is actually going to take care of that sequential thing right now, because we are making use of this list sort order. If we would not have told, I think it would have run without that, maybe in parallel or maybe in sequential. Okay, it would have executed. But since we are making use of this thing, which is list sort order, where are we getting this list sort order? If you see, we have imported this list sort order at the start of. Okay, so we are importing this list sort order at the start, fine, and based on which we will be able to run that aspect. Now let me just take this question and try to get the result. So I've already logged in. Okay, let me just take user can't reset their password from the mobile app. This is my question. Sorry, just allow me a minute. I've already saved. Okay, now it is asking a question. Support. We'll try some another question. Yeah, we have got something. The issue where user cannot reset their password from the mobile has been assessed as follows. It's a high priority, short description, assigned team, front-end team, effort required, this. So now let me just say something called as I have an issue in my tool and it is, help me the doctor recommendation. I'm just putting something here. Till the time it is getting executed, let me just go to the thread. Can you see I have got some response? And each thread, if I open, you can see I'll open this thread. And can you see the question that was being asked? Here you can see this is the response. Can we open this somewhere? Like we have got this thing, the response. The same thing we can see here. All the threads, every time we are running, it is taking a thread and giving me a response. See, based on this, it is selecting a priority, then it is assigning it to a team, then it is saying some efforts also, which is pretty good.
So today we explored the concept of multi-agent solutions and how to build them using Azure AI Foundry. We covered how to manage tasks with sequential, parallel and hierarchical agents, and how Azure's powerful platform can help you orchestrate agents for real-world applications like ticket triaging and task management. So remember, if you want to fast-track your career and master Azure AI Foundry, multi-agent solutions and other advanced AI technologies, our AI Track job program is designed to help you succeed. Check the link in the description to register for the free masterclass. Also, a quick reminder, we have created a free AIML interview guide that covers 80 plus questions, real-world problems, and pro tips to help you stand out in your next interview. It's completely free, so make sure you download your copy. The link is right there in the description below. Also, if you found this video helpful, share it with someone who's also grinding to break into AI or level up their skills. We are all in this together. And if you got any questions or doubts, drop them in the comments below. We read every single one and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And before you go, make sure that you check out this video next.